Welcome to the Cheat Sheet, where we decode success for creators, professors, and business owners. I'm your host, King Musa, and today we're talking about something crucial: mental health and its importance for athletes. Our guest today is someone who supports the mental well being of student athletes at SFA. Joining us today is Holly Randall, counselor for athlete mental health at Stephen F. Austin State University. Holly plays a key role in supporting the mental health of student athletes, ensuring they have the resources they need to thrive both on and off the field. We're excited to hear more about her role and the growing importance of mental health in athletics. Welcome, Holly.
Hello, King Musa.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
All right. So, Holly, before we get started, we're gonna break the ice a little bit. Mental health. Okay. What is your version of meditation? Do you do like yoga? Do you read a book?
Personally, do I
Yeah.
do yoga? No, no.
Okay.
Um, Meditation. So I think I would have to say I don't necessarily practice meditation myself.
Mm.
I like
Are
to,
you a nap taker? I like taking naps.
I mean, I can. I would love to take a fat nap every now and then, but it just rarely happens.
Yes, ma'am.
But I think how I would meditate would just be mindfully doing stuff.
Mindfully doing stuff. Okay.
That's how. So, like today, earlier, I was walking across campus. Now, we could have our phones out, looking at our phones, doing something, listening to music or whatever.
Right.
But I put everything up and I just, kind of walked, smelt the trees, smelt the air, felt the
Okay.
air, listened to everybody buzzing around, just taking those moments here and there. That's
Yes,
what
ma'am.
just be as life goes on. Yeah.
Okay. So, how would you tell an athlete to meditate?
Okay. Well, some of the athletes already do this. So
Mm.
I generally like to teach them this one exercise. It's called 5 4 3 2 1,
Okay.
and it asks you to name 5 things that you see. So
Right.
like right now we're sitting here, what are 5 things that you see?
Okay.
You'll say like microphone, clock, paper, whatever.
Right.
So 5 things you see, 4 things you feel. So we sitting here, we feel the chair on our back.
I feel
The
like it's cold.
Yeah, it is a little chilly, but you
Okay.
feel the air on your skin
Right.
if you think about it really
Okay.
hard. And then like our feet on the ground, right?
Right.
And then 3 things you hear. So like you hear that computer over there,
Yeah.
right? And then 2 things you smell, and then 1 thing you taste.
Okay.
So you kind of go through all the senses, but it kind of helps ground you and acclimate you back to where you are.
Yes, ma'am. All right. So, can you do me a huge favor and introduce yourself and what you do here at SFA?
Okay, so my name is Holly Randall. I am a licensed clinical social worker. I work with counseling services and SFA athletics to
Yes, ma'am.
provide mental health and mental performance services for athletes.
Okay. Nice. Now, where did this inspiration come from? Like, where did you grow up? Did your parents go to college? Did you have siblings that were athletes or college students as well? And where did the love for mental health therapy come from?
So my story has a lot of twists and turns. So
Hey, that's the best
um
story.
so actually I grew up in Nacogdoches. I was
Really?
born and raised here. Yep.
Okay.
My parents did
Can I
not
say it?
Ben?
No, can I say Nacrat?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. Just have to
Um
make sure.
but but I'm also a Ben.
Okay. What's that?
What is that? So it's born in Nacogdoches, BIN.
Oh, look at y'all.
See, it's the club.
I'm not gonna press any buttons.
So but my parents did not graduate they graduated from high school, but not college.
Okay. First
Um,
gen.
I was actually first gen, but I went to SFA,
Mm-hmm.
got my undergraduate degree here.
Okay.
Went back and got my graduate degree here as well. So I'm a 2-time alumni.
Ooh, what did you study?
Social work. So I have
Okay.
a bachelor's in social work, and then I have a master's in social work too.
Got you.
And then I did additional training to do clinical work.
Right.
So 2 years plus that. And I'm a licensed clinical social worker, so I can do mental health and all those fun things.
So social work isn't a pretty industry. It comes with its stories and stuff. Um What interests you in that?
So when I started, I wanted to have a career.
Mhm.
It's funny because life changes you as you grow older, but back in the day,
Right.
I just wanted a career where I did not sit behind a desk.
Ah,
Little did I know I'll be writing
interesting.
notes all the time, but,
Right.
so I started out in my career working with, just as a social worker at a hospital,
Yes, ma'am.
and then I did hospice work,
Okay.
and then I worked in a nursing home when after I had my kids and kind of balanced life like that and had a better schedule and things like that, but,
Mhm.
just really providing, support to those at that point in my career was providing support to those that are dealing with health challenges.
Right. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Now, what do you like to do outside of work? What are your interests, passions, and hobbies?
Well, I liked
Mm.
my dog, my
Sounds
puppy
like a sad
Rudy.
story.
My no, he's precious.
Okay,
He's
okay.
so precious.
Okay, yay.
But I enjoy time with my dog Rudy.
Okay.
Enjoy time with my family. I love being outside.
Mhm.
And in the summer we go to the lake, and in the winter we go ski.
Ooh. What's considered outside and what kind of dog do you have?
So I have a golden retriever,
Okay.
and outside is just anything where there's sun,
Okay.
you know. And I obviously I want it to not be raining, but
Right.
I don't like the rain. But
So
out,
you could just go walking and enjoying
yeah,
the day.
yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just really enjoy just, like, going to different sporting events and just
Mhm.
watching. Like, I get so much joy watching our student athletes achieve what they want to,
Yes, ma'am.
and, just seeing them be successful and work hard and, even I'll go watch baseball games during the spring
Yes, ma'am.
all weekend if I could.
Okay. I think you just gave us our key thing right there. Athletes, right?
Mhm.
What is off the department or the office of counseling for mental health for athletes, and what are some initiatives going on in there?
So we know that student athletes have a higher risk of anxiety, depression, and just they're more at risk than most of the general population of students.
Mhm.
Um, and while all students are struggling, and that's no secret to anybody, but
Right.
we know that about 45% of all incoming student athletes are dealing with something that makes them at risk for a mental illness or
Yes,
mental
ma'am.
health issue. So what we do is, or what I started about 2020, twenty
Okay.
twenty one, and just really started to provide support not only to incoming athletes that are struggling to make that transition from whether JUCO or another 4-year college or high school or
Mhm.
whatever to here, help them manage that transition, but also help them give them the tools to be successful.
Right.
So, like we talked about our 5 4 3 2 1 earlier,
Yes, ma'am.
if they're struggling and they can't perform because their nerves are and they're anxious or they feel the pressure of a competition setting,
Mhm.
just teaching them those little tricks. And so to make sure that they're ready and that they can do their job and be
Yes,
successful.
ma'am. Okay. Now, I know you graduated from SFA
Hmm.
and then you did graduate school at SFA,
Yep.
right? But how did you get back to SFA to be working, supporting, and helping out?
So it's come full circle actually. You
Okay.
right. But so in 2020, along with COVID,
Right.
I actually had personal things happen in my life that
Yes, ma'am.
really made me reevaluate what I was doing and where I was going.
Okay.
I lost my
Ooh.
mom
Okay.
and my daughter. I have two daughters, and my oldest daughter was moving off to college.
Mhm.
And so I found myself like um just really trying to reflect on where I wanted to go.
Okay.
I also was pretty sick with COVID
Yeah.
and found myself really questioning what my purpose was and
Yeah.
trying to figure that out. So I always tell the story that I was in quarantine because I was sick. I was with COVID. I was in quarantine. My best girlfriend,
Mhm.
she calls me up like she did every morning, and she's like, "This morning I was just not in a good place mentally." And
Right.
she says, "Okay, Holly, well, what are we gonna do? What are you gonna do with the rest of your career?" And
Yeah.
I'm like, "Well, I have no idea." And she's like, "Well, let's break it down. What do you like to do?" And I said, "Well, I love working with people
Right.
and I love basketball." That's literally what
Yeah.
I said. And she's like, and I'm like, "So if we can do that, like sign me up." Well, history writes itself, right? So what happened is we Googled clinical social work
Mhm.
and basketball. Ends up there was a program through the Alliance of Social Workers in Sports.
Okay.
I got connected with them, and I went back to school for a year program through COVID. From there, got connected to some really amazing mentors in my life through the
Yes.
NBA and the Team USA and things like that. And the funny thing is they were all asking me, "So what do you want to do?" And
We're
and
back
I
to this question.
right.
Yeah.
So they're like, "Okay, Holly, so here you are. You you need to have a I needed to have a like an internship program. I needed
Right.
practicum hours." So they're like, "Well, what do you want to do? What do you want to work with?" And I'm like, my dream job would be at SFA. I said, because I mean, I've watched SFA basketball forever and ever.
Yeah.
I'm two-time alumni. Both of my daughters went to school here.
She
One's
bleeds that
still in
purple.
school here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's where I want to do. And they honestly, one of the mentors from the she was super sweet. She's like, "Really, Holly, that's it?" And I'm like, "No, really." And so she kind of laughed, and I think at that moment she was like, "Yeah, whatever." But anyway, I ended up calling, got in touch with SFA Athletics,
Mhm.
so came on board, did my internship hours here, and just been blessed with this journey.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I appreciate you for sharing that. Yes. I do want to know though, in your day to day, work job, your position and everything, what are the challenges you face? Like, what is something that, in the whole mental health thing that kind of puts that pressure?
Well, I think obviously just the stigma around mental health
Hmm.
is a challenge. And from my day back in the day
Right.
when I was in college, mental health is viewed very differently now.
Hmm.
And I'm very thankful for that. But there's still that stigma, especially in the realm of athletics
Right.
and feeling like, if someone's not mentally strong, they can't perform and things like that. And, we could debate those things or whatever,
Hmm.
but just helping make sure people are knowledgeable about mental health
Right.
and that mental performance is a thing, and that just because someone struggles doesn't mean they can't be successful,
Yeah.
even as a person and as an athlete.
Yes, ma'am. Now, I do think there's a lot of pressure in that. And hearing your story about the COVID part, I think it really brings that like firsthand
Yeah.
knowledge, experience, and everything. So,
Yeah, because especially even during that time, I mean, I was depressed. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, my mom had passed away, and
yes, ma'am.
um, I'm a total girls' mom,
My
and
condolences. Yes,
love
ma'am.
my daughters. And when you face with such adversity, you really kind of take a moment to step back. And I always just think that if those cards hadn't been played at
Right.
that time, things probably would look very different. Even knows if I'd be here.
Yes, ma'am.
But just thankful and just thankful. Love my job,
Hmm.
and not every day is different.
Yeah.
And while I do sit behind a desk, I would not want to change it for the world. So,
Yes, ma'am. There's nothing wrong with a little AC and still get to go outside.
right.
Um, I do have this question though. We talked about the awareness of mental health as the challenge. What's going on? Like, what is something exciting students and faculty should be aware of that's going on in the counseling services for mental health?
So there's lots of things happening. The really cool thing, well, I'm just going to give my own selfish plug
Go
right here.
ahead.
But we actually October 14th, Wednesday, October 14th, I
Hmm.
think is the date. Um, I'm actually with UPD. We're doing a Powerful You workshop. So
Okay.
it's a self-defense class for women.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like girl power, you know? So we're uniting, learning how to take care of ourselves when we're faced with challenges physically. And
Yes,
so
ma'am.
I've done this with other groups in the past, and just glad UPD's offering to do it, and look forward to it. And because um, we all of us need to be reminded of our own inner power, and
Right.
sometimes, we forget. So uniting together to remember that.
That's motivating, and I know that I've heard a couple people, like students, actually participating in that course and everything
Hmm.
around the dorms, and so it makes them feel a lot more confident of walking around on
Yeah.
campus, especially at night.
Yeah, and we get to practice our skills. That's
Yeah.
my personal
Yeah.
fave. But, just making sure we know, and we get to yell and we get to punch,
Yeah.
and it's okay because we punch like girls, right? So it's okay, and we just have a good time doing it. But ultimately knowing that if we were ever caught in a situation where we needed to do that, we at least have the knowledge to do it. So
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
we also have a great resource since the UT affiliation called
Mhm.
Timely Care.
Yeah.
And I talked about it this morning with one of the SFA 101's classes, and I'm going to give my little selfish plug too, because
Go again.
Timely Care provides 9 free counseling sessions to every SFA student. And if you think about that, there's no other time in our lives that you will
Mhm.
get free therapy.
Right.
Never.
Mhm.
It doesn't, the world doesn't work like that. So, but every student is eligible to get 9 free sessions.
Right.
They have to download Timely Care app. They can actually pick out their own counselor. So if they wanted, a certain ethnic background or a certain
Right.
specialty in certain things, they can actually find that person, and because they have this huge database.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
signing up for that is really cool. And the other really amazing thing about them is that they meet when we don't. So
Right.
like after 5 and on the weekends.
Mhm.
So like when I'm outside or sleeping, they're working.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
so for our athletes, that's important because their schedules are all over the place. And
Mhm.
so it's really been a great resource to have.
Okay. Hey, 9 is more than enough. Like, that's at least 2 a month. If you're going biweekly, you make it through 4 months,
Yeah.
plus you got that extra one just in case one
Yep.
month is rough. So
Yep.
we'll take it. Now, I need to know lessons, advice, tips. What are some mental health advice you can give students um, throughout this semester?
I am going to encourage them to just continue to have a growth mindset.
Hmm.
You know, talked about it this morning a little bit with some freshmen, but having a growth mindset and being open to even failure as an opportunity
Right.
and putting that spin on it can really set you up for success. Because if you look at failure as failure,
Hmm.
then you've already deemed where you're going.
You already fell? Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to get any better, right?
Right.
Failure is failure. That's it. So just to help learn how to have a growth mindset and learn how to recognize it. I
Hmm.
think that's another really big thing, is that we get so busy with life and we get so busy in our day to day that we forget to really acknowledge when we're going down a bad path. So,
Right.
making sure we catch our thoughts when they're bad,
Hmm.
and we know how to change them or get help to change them. Because I mean, you may not know how to do that because you don't know, right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
you may have to come see someone like me or somebody else to help you kind of start recognizing that, how they impact how you are acting and feeling, and then learning to change them.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Before we go, I need another trick. I know you taught me the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, you went over it. If you want to use that trick, you can go over again.
Okay.
But what's a trick or tip that students can kind of hold on to throughout their day, to understanding what's going on inside of them, or just calming down in a situation that randomly popped up?
Okay. As long as you're going to do it.
Okay.
Are you going to do it for me?
If it's doable, yeah.
So I'm going to teach you. So remember we talked about mindfulness, right?
Right.
So that's kind of where I'm going. But I want to do mindfully breathing.
Okay.
We all know how to breathe,
Mhm.
right? It's a given. If we wouldn't be here. So
Okay.
ultimately, mindfully breathing and thinking about your breath.
Okay.
Are you ready? So we're going to start out with box breathing. So think of it. We're going to breathe in for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and rest.
Okay.
Okay. And then we're going to repeat. Are you ready?
Interesting. Let's do it.
Okay. So you got the giggles out?
No.
Okay. Ready? On the count of, ready? Breathe in. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. Okay. You look like you're about to bust out.
I want to laugh, but I'm not gonna laugh.
So this time we're going to do inhale. And
Yeah.
I want you to feel the cold air coming in.
We're gonna what?
You're going to inhale.
From my nose?
Yeah.
I have a very big nose.
Okay.
The flow sometimes isn't always
Then you
complete.
should be able to feel that coldness as it hits that skin.
All right, let's do.
You ready?
So into my nose and what else?
You're going to breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Uh-huh.
Hold it. Exhale.
Okay.
4, 3, 2, 1.
From my nose now. Okay. Let's do it.
I'm going to get you to shut your eyes so if you won't start laughing. Okay. Ready? Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Did you feel the cold air?
I did.
Okay. Okay. How did it feel?
I'm so sorry, y'all. Like, if you're listening to this and you get to listen to this on the radio, you just learned a new trick to be able to calm down, or what's the right thing? What
So
does it actually do?
I always say when you get anxious or you get sped up in your mind and it
Right.
just kind of goes over and over and over, that just helps remind you that you're okay and
Yeah.
it sends a message to your brain to like stop spinning, right?
Right.
Because instead of thinking about what you're spinning around in your mind, you're thinking about the cold air on your neck in your nose.
Okay.
So it breaks the cycle.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Holly, for joining us today and sharing your insight in athlete mental health. It has been eye-opening to hear about your work being done to support the well-being of student athletes at SFA. Remember, listeners, mental health is just as important as physical health. So let's continue the conversation to prioritize our well-being. Subscribe to the Cheat Sheet and follow us on social media and stay connected. This is King Musa signing off, reminding you to stay balanced, stay focused, and always take care of your mental health. Have a great day.